Hello. Thought I'd make a surprise video. What are we looking at here? What is this? Well, this is a software called Microsoft Flight Simulator. And I won't bore you too much with it, but the airplane that we're looking at here is a simulation of a Piper Comanche 250. And this particular call sign I have here on the airplane, N7582 Papa, that's P, that's how you say November actually, November 7582 Papa. When you're speaking over the radio on an airplane, you use the phonetic alphabet, Alpha, Bravo, Kilo, Delta, whatever. So P is Papa, N is November. So I'm sorry, plus I got a haircut. Yeah, I got sick of the long hair, and I got a sore on my tongue, so I'm talking funny. I apologize. Anyway, now where are we? Well, we're in Texas. We're specifically at a airfield, which is Wings for Christ. And why am I at Wings for Christ? Well, this is literally right down the road from Mount Carmel. And then the other important factor about Wings for Christ is when me and my wife got out of the group in 1989, Wings for Christ, the good people at Wings for Christ, put us up for 2 weeks for free. In fact, not only for free, they gave us some money. And they took care of us. And I'll be forever grateful for that. So they're a missionary outfit. They fly airplanes and go to Mexico and other places to help people in their ministry. So there you go. And I just thought I'd talk a little bit about my dad's airplane. Now, this airplane here is not the one that I told you about later. It's the same model, but this is the one that he crashed at Mount Carmel on July 7th. Or July 6, 1970. And I'll explain why he crashed, and I'll show you what went wrong. And let's get going here. This will be a short video, but I just wanted to show you my dad. Now, this cockpit setup is not the same as what my father would have. This is modernized. But it's very similar. Let's start it up. Alright, so we're running the engine. Whoa! Let's put the parking brake on. Not ready to move yet. So one of the things my father would do is run up the throttle. And then he would do this. Now, what is this doing, David? It looks very boring. Yes. Well, what we're doing is there's some hydraulic fluid that needs to go into this propeller. I don't want to be too technical, but the propeller has what's called variable blade pitch. It means the blades can change their pitch, if anybody knows what that means. But anyway, in order to change the pitch, you got to have hydraulic fluid in the blades. This moves the hydraulic fluid. It circulates hydraulic fluid to get it all warmed up and ready to go before we take off. All right. Anyway, sure, our fuel tanks are set. Turn our map on here. So here we are in Texas. And Mount Carmel's over here somewhere. And this is the Brazos River. This is Lake Waco. All that. Okay, so let's get going. Turn off the parking brake. And we'll make sure the flaps are up. All right. And let's go. Running a little rough. All right. We are flying. Flying out from Wings for Christ. We are going basically north right now. And what I want to do is get up to about 1,000 feet before I turn. The altimeter's right here. We're moving up to 1,000 feet. Let's get an outside view really quick just to show you. Oh, we got to bring the gear up. Forgot about that. Alright, gears up. Oh, climbing too steeply, climbing too steeply. Let's get that under control. Alright, so now let's turn and we're going to try to fly over Mount Carmel. I also want to pull the power back a little bit. I'm going to be going too fast. So anyway, why did my father crash his plane at Mount Carmel in 1970? Well, what happened is you have these fuel valves here that select fuel tanks. And you got some tanks out there on the tip, those tip tanks there, those things on the end of the wing, those are tip tanks. He didn't have tip tanks in his plane, but they serve the same function. 15 gallons on each of those, and then there are some tanks on the inside wing right there. That's how you get the fuel in. Those are the main tanks. Whoa, I'm just all over the place right now. Trying to get myself stable here. Trying to orient myself and see where I am. Let's go to the external view for a second so we can find Mount Carmel. Yeah, this way. So anyway, what he would do, let's turn that down. What he would do is he would run them dry, and we would be high up in the sky, and the engines would suck all the fuel out of the tank, and then he would be like, but it was okay because they're up high. And so he would go reach down, like I just showed you. He would reach down here and switch one of these valves, and then the fuel would catch back up again, you know, it would start sucking fuel, and then we would be fine. But that's at 10,000 feet. Okay? So when you're flying low over Mount Carmel and you lose your fuel like that, well, that's bad. And that's exactly what happened. He came down with Ben Roden in the plane and himself and some others. And he was flying low over Mount Carmel. So let's simulate that if we can. I still haven't found Mount Carmel. I know it's over here somewhere. I think it's up ahead there. Yeah, I see it. Way up ahead there. So anyway, you're flying low over Mount Carmel and you run out of fuel. You got fuel, but you reach down and you switch it and you're waiting for the engine to catch, but you're basically at what? 20, 30 feet off the ground? Well, there's no time. There's no time. So we quickly had to drop the gear and just basically do a controlled crash landing. And this was, as I said, this was July 6th, on Monday, July 6th, 1960. So there's Mount Carmel up there. See that S-shaped road up there? So my father was flying low over Mount Carmel in his airplane, 7582 Papa, and he was trying to get their attention to come pick him up at the airport, which we'll go land at the airport he's going to go to. So there's Mount Carmel, there's the new chapel down there, there's the lakes, S-shaped road. I'm sure some of you recognize it. Anyway, there you go. Whoa, we are dropping too fast. Need to gain some altitude here. Alright, anyway, let's go back to a cockpit view. And, yeah. So, the problem, of course, is that he couldn't, he had no choice. He had to drop the gear and crash land onto Mount Carmel. And that was that. Of course, everybody was safe. My father is a very good pilot, so he made a very good crash landing. Unfortunately, the plane was basically destroyed. Not in pieces, but I mean the body was damaged and the plane was damaged quite severely. He had insurance, so he was able to get a new plane. My mom picked him up at the airport, and he looked like the most depressed man you ever saw in your life, which I can understand, seeing as how he had lost a multi-thousand-dollar airplane, plus he loved his airplane. But we're going to go ahead and fly over to TSTC, which is Waco Airport. This is the airport everybody used if you're flying into Mount Carmel. My dad, anyway. I don't know if anybody else ever had a plane. I don't think so. So there you go, a little bit of history. My father, I spent hours sitting in this, right in that seat right there. That was my seat. I always sat there in the back there. My mom sat here, of course. My sister on this side. He repainted his new plane and he painted it beautiful. In fact, I showed a picture of that one time. So, yeah. But we're doing about 160 miles an hour right now. This thing is very fast. It's only got one engine. We are burning 16 gallons an hour. Airplanes are very expensive to operate. Aviation fuel is about $6 a gallon. So we're talking quite a bit of money. My mom knows. It's like a money pit. You got to pay for the hangar and you got to pay for insurance. And I would love to own and operate an airplane, but unfortunately, I cannot afford such things. I'm only one. The reason why my parents could is because they both worked, made lots of money. My father's very lucky to have a woman like my mom who worked hard and made money, so he could afford his airplane. My father loved his airplane. I don't blame him for loving it. It's a beautiful airplane. It's a very accurate simulation, this particular model of airplane here. And I just purchased this the other day. It was $50. It's worth every penny. The simulation, that is. So I'm going to go ahead and make a landing here. I'm going to pull the throttle back quite a bit. And I'm going to get ready to drop the gear. We're going awfully fast. My goodness. This plane is so fast. It's ridiculous how fast this plane is. We barely have the throttle out. I'm going to go ahead and add some flap. Alright, let's get the gear down. It's actually a fairly easy plane to fly, I find. So, I'm just going to do a little landing here. Come in nice and easy. The gear down, yes, got to make sure the gear's down. That green light means the gear's down. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, we flare. Got to do your flare, cut the power. It's not going to be the greatest landing in the world, but it'll work. Yeah, I almost stalled it. Whoa. Let's hit the brakes. And there you go. Not the greatest landing, but it works. Not supposed to go in the dirt here either, but I'm going to cheat a little bit. Whoa. Well, anyway, there we are. We've landed at Lake Waco. I mean, not Lake Waco, excuse me. Waco TSTC Airport. Now, this is the airport where my father would have been landing that day if he had made it instead of crashing at Mount Carmel. And so there you go. There's my little demonstration video of my dad's plane. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope I didn't bore anybody too much. I didn't make it too long. Just wanted to show you a little bit about what I experienced growing up. We'll go ahead and park over here by this big jet. And we'll shut it down and we'll end the video. This is a simulation of this airport. I don't think it's 100% accurate, so don't take it too seriously. Let's go ahead and put the parking brake on. And pull the throttle out and go ahead and shut the magnetos down. And fuel pump off, battery off, and there we go. We've ended our flight. There it is. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed that short little surprise video talking about my dad's plane, and we used this to pass out literature all over the western United States. Spent a lot of hours in this plane. It's a beautiful plane. I enjoyed my time. Well, I didn't enjoy it always. I appreciate it now, though, looking back. It's an incredible machine, and I appreciate that my father was a pilot and was able to take me flying when he could. So anyway, take care. Till next time.